Welcome back, everyone. And yes, I'm making this right after the ending of the last video because obviously we just got home. So I want to show you what happened with the hurricane that we had at the beginning of September. It made quite a mess. As I said, we got 8 inches. We got 8 inches of rain, 8 to 10 or 12 inches, whatever it was, in a matter of like 4 hours. It was just an incredible amount of rain. So it made a mess. And what happened was the dam broke, as you can probably tell by the title. And it didn't really break. It didn't break because it was improperly built. Well, if you remember us talking about it, I needed to raise the far end up. Well, I'll show you now from here. That whole end from the middle there was about 3 feet low. So what happened was the water, there's a creek that runs back there, if you remember. So the water comes down the creek this direction, and it came into that corner, and the water level was so high that it came up and over that end of the dam. So the amount of water that was coming down, and as I talked about, I made this dam higher so that the water would go over to the property on the other side, which is empty. It's just a field. But because that end was not raised up, the water came in there before it got to the property on the other side. So well, I'll show it to you afterwards, but I wanted to show you this side. So everybody wanted to say how, see how high the water level could come. So if you look at the line here of debris, that's roughly where the water came up to. So that's really kind of where we set the overflow to, and that's kind of where I had envisioned that the water level of the lake would be. So as you can see, that float broke loose. Well, that one broke loose, and luckily they beached themselves on this side because I'm going to remove those. I don't even want those anymore. I just don't. I can't have this happening because one of the main causes of what happened, which I'll show you when I get over there, is, you'll see it down there, but there is another float that was down at that end, that when the water came in this direction and it tried to go out the overflow, and the float blocked the overflow, and you'll see what happened. So I just wanted to give you a look on this side. I mean, this held up fairly well. This is still very wet. Hi, Misty. You're always with me. So this had a little bit of wash down. I can come in here and get a lot of this back out again, because I am going to need everything that was in this pile pretty much to fix what I have to fix. So I've got to get down there, and I'll show you when I get there. But I am outflowing again, so this water level is dropping. So I've got to get down there. I took a quick peek of it yesterday before I got back. I mean, before I made this video. So I'll get down. I'm going to go down that end. I'll continue my narration when I get down that end. So over here, a lot of this washed out. If you remember, I call this David's Point. That's one piece of the bonfire that I had David service on August 1st of 2019, which was, there's a video on that. It was a humongous fire. If you want to see a good one that you can see from the space shuttle, I'll put a link to it or in the description, but that was out there. So this, I was always going to cut more of this out. I really wanted the water line to be back here, but when Chris was here and we were doing everything, we just kind of graded this off and left it there. But as you can see, a lot of it's washed down. So I'm going to come in here and dig a lot of that out. I'll bring the dozer over here probably and push some of it. It's a little wet right now, so I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to need all this dirt as well from over here. But you can see how much this has really washed out. Because it pitched down, you know, I tried to grade everything so that the water would not run towards the lake. Then, so only the water that fell on the slopes would run down. But I never got to get it so it was pitched away. And I was thinking I would have done it by now, but because I started the house, that didn't happen. So I'm going to leave, you know, this part is going to stay, obviously, because of the tree, and this isn't terrible here. I can just blade that off, build this up a little bit more right here. But if you take a look over here and there, so what happened was, and I'll put a picture of it, that float blocked. That's a 3-foot overflow, if you remember when Chris and I put that in when he was here. But that went up and it totally blocked. I mean, there probably wasn't 6 inches of that pipe showing, and what it did was all the water coming in there came over this way, and this became the spillway, which it wasn't really the spillway, was it? So it took a lot, and I'll take a walk down there, but it also took a lot, all that back down over there. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to get rid of these floats. I'm not putting them in anymore. They're not going in. But I need to get down here and get all that back out again to fill this up, because I can't even get the general around here yet. So this is like original ground right here. So you can see basically everything I had already dumped in here went down. So you could see how the force of this water, a lot of it went in there, but it also went down towards the creek, left all that sand there, went all the way down. I call that memory lane, down that, well, that's one of the trails in the woods, so it went down that way. Let me just give you a quick look at the creek in case you've never seen it before, so you can tell how much water was in here, and it kind of all went that way and eventually headed back to the creek, I would say. Now the water level's way down again, as you can see, but this is the culprit. So this is the creek, and you can see right now there's not even a foot of water in there. So this was, like I said, I wasn't here. Only Wendy's Uncle Greg was here, and like I said, he sent me some pictures. So unfortunately I don't have any video of this event, but like I said, yeah, it's a mess. So I've got to get this built back up so I can get the general down here to start moving some material. Everything was fine on this side of the overflow. I mean, you can see obviously it took a little bit of sand out with it, but not too much. That held up fine. Had a couple of washouts right there. I mistakenly buried some trees in that spot right there, so what happened was all the water probably went straight through it, so that was my fault. I'm going to dig that out. I know they're right below there, so I'm going to get those trees out of there. And just a little bit of washout right there. But like I said, it was so much rain, and I never graded the top of this because I knew that I was going to be bringing more material down. So let me get down to the end. I'll put it back on again. All right, so for the fun part, water came in here, came in that corner as well. I don't think those trees helped matters any. I'm going to get rid of those once I fill this in a little bit so I can get the excavator over there. But you know, this hole is as big as the one that was there before. So you can see how much I'm outflowing. I've got to get over here. I've got to get over here and block this up because I cannot. I may just bring the dozer over here and push. I'll probably just push this down to close it up. But you know, I'm outflowing pretty good here right now, and I don't want to do that. So, well, all this I'm going to get out there with the 250. Let me hop over this. So I can get all this out. This is how much washed in. So I'll come out on this. I'll dig up everything I can again, because basically this is all what was there. So it should be enough to fill this back up again. And let me just show you this corner. So this whole corner washed down. I think this was the start of it. I believe it came in here first and started the problem, and then it washed that part away. So this was the end that was low. But there was a ditch that ran down this way, and because I didn't fill it up, as you can see, it wasn't very thick again. It's the cause of the last time when the dam breached was because there was only about 3 feet of material between the creek and there. And this is a ditch that separates my neighbor Gwyn with ours, and the water must have come backed up there as well, blew through right here, took these trees down, and in it came. So I've got to get this fixed, because I cannot have this happen again. So there's the mess. So again, all this part washed down as well. So I will dig that up and bring it back. But the first thing I've got to do is get the tree out of there and move my topsoil. I'm gonna have to move it again, because that topsoil needs to go down there, as I talked about before. But right now I've got to fix this, because this is not good at all. All right, I'm gonna hook up the chains, get this one out, hopefully. Again. those two are out. It wasn't pretty, but it's out. The anchors I'll get, those are concrete anchors. I will get those at another time, because I want to get blocking up the outpouring of water.